Welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And of course, we are going.
Morning.
Thank you. We're going to be working on the Torah Temimah today on Genesis, and we'll dive right in. Let me just make sure I have what I need for the share. Share the screen. Hopefully, you're going to see it in a moment. All right. 1 second here. Just need to do one other thing. Okay. So we are this verse here in chapter 2 of Genesis. Ve'ed ya'aleh. So we're talking about a mist would arise. So the verse itself says, and we'll go back to at the beginning of it. So it's 2:6. Ve'ed ya'aleh, and a mist would come up min haaretz, from the earth. V'hishka et kol pnei ha'adamah is going to be the last word here. And it watered the surface, or the entire surface of the earth. So take a look at what Torah Temimah has to say about this. So, ve'ed ya'aleh, it says, of course, and a mist went up, arises. וסמיך, and right after that, in the very next verse, it says, Vayitzer Hashem Elohim et Adam. God formed the man, afar min ha'adamah, dust of the earth. So let's take a look at this. See what he says. So right here, right? The Lord God formed the man, dust from the ground, Vayipach b'acham nishmat chayim, and he blew into his nostrils the breath of life, Vayhi adam lenefesh chaya, and so that the man became a living soul. So let's take a look here. So please excuse me 1 second. Here we are, Minabana. Ki isha, this is like a woman, shemagbelet isata b'mayim, who kneads her starter dough in water, v'achar kach notelet challah, and after that she takes a cake, a challah. So challah here means, even though the word it essentially means cake, we're talking here about the dough offering. This is actually mentioned in the Torah, that part of the dough, the very first part of the dough, was to be given to the priest. And this is known as the challah. So, melamed sha'adam harishon. So from this we can learn out that the first human being, nikra chalato shel olam, could be called the cake of the world. V'garma lo chava mita. And we know that Eve caused him death. She brought death into the world. Lefichach, and for this reason, tishmor mitzvat challah. And for this reason, the woman is the one who is responsible for the mitzvah of challah. It's her mitzvah to take a little bit of the dough when she bakes bread, and in the days when the temple existed, she would give some of the dough to the priest. These days, those people who observe this mitzvah basically burn it. They burn this little piece of dough. So obviously there's stuff to unpack here. Was the fact that why does it say, for example, that women brought death into the world? Well, we'll see that from the Torah Temimah. Is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, we read elsewhere where, in fact, death is a very good thing. And I think it's connected to the fact that as long as life comes into the world, there has to be something to take out of the world as well. And it's in that regard that women are seen as having brought death to the world. There is a lot more to be said here, and I know that on the surface it sounds pretty bad, but I think we need to just hold off and not automatically pass judgment on that particular statement. But there's more to it than meets the eye. Let's just take a look here what it says here. Let's find the place here. Right. So he says Hagaram Mita, the cause of death, right? The fact that we say that women brought death into the world, hu al yedei ma she'echilato me'etz hadad. It comes from the fact that Eve gave Adam to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, Hinoda, as is well known. Vahine, because remember, God says that on the day that human beings eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they will die. And we need to understand that what it means is they will become mortal. And we mentioned that after she had eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, she also gave to Adam to eat of it as well. And that's basically the simple reason why we're saying that women brought death into the world. Vahine, and it looks like l'cheora on the surface, mesirat mitzvah zechuti. But the truth is, if a woman is now given this mitzvah to perform, right? We're saying that women have this mitzvah, it's theirs to perform. Zechuti, it's a privilege. It's actually something wonderful, right? That women were given this mitzvah of challah. We see the performance of mitzvah as mitzvot as being a privilege. Ukamo shekatuv b'makot kaf gimel bet, and as is stated in the tractate Makot, page 23b, Ratzah HaKadosh Baruch Hu lizchot et Yisrael, that the Holy One, blessed be He, wanted to give merit to the Jewish people, to Israel. Lefichach, and for this reason, Lahem Torah u'mitzvot, and for this reason, He gave them a great Torah, much Torah, and many mitzvot, many commandments, and to recognize that the nature of a mitzvah and the nature of studying Torah is to grant us dignity and obviously significance and things like that. It really is that. So we were told, of course, that here we have women being given these specific, there are actually 3 mitzvahs that are supposed to be performed by women and that women are privileged to perform. The imkain, and if this is the case, Eicha Markan Shine Shabbazeh, how is it that it would appear that she is being punished by having to perform this mitzvah? There's a contradiction going on here. But what we can say, Hakavana al pi ma shekatuv b'Shabbat, the intention here is a reference to what is written in the tractate Shabbat, page 32a, al shalosh averot, regarding 3 transgressions. Please excuse me 1 second. So sorry. Regarding 3 transgressions, Nashim meitot b'sha'at lidatam, women die at the time of childbirth. These are, of course, very stark kinds of statements, but just trying to process, right? So there are 3 transgressions where women will die in the birth of a child. Al she'enan zehirot benida, if they are not careful about the laws regarding menstruation, uvechala, and regarding the chala, taking the chala, v'chule, and he doesn't give you the 3rd one, but the 3rd one is lighting Shabbos candles. Let me begin his myself. Please forgive me. My throat is very dry. So those are the 3 mitzvot that are there in order to protect a woman from passing during childbirth. We know that childbirth it's fraught with danger as well. Umefaresh, and so it explains, Sheli Siba ze, for this reason, Hamuveret kan, which is explained here, Nimsara la mitzvot chala, mitzvat chala. And for this reason, she has the mitzvah regarding chala, is to protect her. And indeed, this is given to her, this mitzvah, lechapara kekorban chatat. And so this mitzvah is given to her as an atonement, just like a sin offering. That's this taking of the challah. Barak imlo tia zehiraba. And the truth is that it's only if she isn't meticulous, if she isn't careful about taking challah, tistaken b'chayeha, that she would have a danger, she'd face danger in her life. But imkain, and if this is the reason, arei zela gam leschut. And if that's the case, then for sure, this mitzvah obviously comes as a benefit, as a benefit. Bezihiruta, when she is careful about taking the challah, about practicing this. Ulechova. And so it also comes as a merit, ulechova. And of course, it is also, if she isn't, if she's not careful about it, then it now comes as a chova, meaning a sin in a sense, a sin for not performing a positive commandment. So give me 1 second. Okay. So there's more to be said here. As I said, I don't anticipate that this is easy stuff to absorb, but just trying to deal with what we're reading. And it's one could explain further al pizer regarding this. Kavanat hakatuv, the intention of the scriptural verse Bechezkel Mem Dalet in Ezekiel chapter 44, Techashiv Sham, that where he lists there Bein Sidur Mitzvat Shonot, amongst arranging other various commandments. Vereshit arisotechem, he mentions, and the first of your dough, right? This first dough. Tinitnu lekohen, you shall give to the kohen, to the priest, lahaniach bracha al beitecha, so that there's blessing that accrues to your home. V'lo nitpa'er, and there it doesn't explain lama lo amar lashon ze gam b'sha'ar mitzvot, but it doesn't give that reason. It doesn't clarify regarding the other mitzvot that are listed there, techashiv sham, that are listed there. He doesn't say so that there is blessing on your house, without in regarding any of the other mitzvot that are listed in this Ezekiel passage. Ach lefi ma shekatuv de mitzvat chala nitna leisha. But if we understand that the commandment, the specific commandment here, is given to a woman, right? Lischut ulechoba, regarding merit and sin, right? Because if you do it, you are merit, and if you don't do it, then it's considered a sin. Lachen, for this reason, Amar, it says, Bereshit arisotechem, and when it comes to the first of your dough, Hainu chala, that is the chala mitzvah, the mitzvah chala, Tinu lachohen, you shall give to the kohen, Lahaniach bracha al beitecha, so as to place blessing upon your house. Klomar, here your house means your wife. And now it makes sense, right? Here we go. Let me see. Right. This is regarding, I'm trying to think if you can see that the print isn't, but what it means is this is a reference, Hadrasha Hayidua. There is a well-known Al-Pi, that's what this is, an ayin and a pei, hard to see. Al-Pi Hadrasha, it is according to that interpretation, hayedua, which is well known, beito ze ishto, that when the Torah speaks about a person's house, they refer to his wife. His house is his wife. Shelo yela, and what it's saying there in the Ezekiel passage, in other words, so that there is blessing upon your house. It means so that your wife will be blessed. That's essentially what it really means. Shelo yela b'ni'at davar zeh lemichshol. So it's saying that if she doesn't perform this mitzvah, it'll be a stumbling block. Badok, and he said, in other words, QED, and he's very happy with this. He's saying this is a compelling argument. So I'm curious if you have any comments you want to make. I mean, obviously, it's easy to have a reaction to this, and I'm just wondering, do you have any reaction that you'd like to share? Any thoughts before I go? Okay, well, because we'll stop here and continue next time. So we'll go right here. I'll just move this down here and we'll go to this one next time. And I'm going to stop the share. Okay. All right. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, so I'll stop the recording. And